Today's the big day, your math test. You spent hours reading and rereading your textbook, combing over the notes and formulas, and even turning down friends and parties just for this test. You're feeling confident, you're feeling prepared, but the failing test results you get back tell you otherwise. It seems no matter how many hours you spend studying, math just never seems to click. And you wouldn't be the only one to feel this way, since according to Elizabeth Ruschow from the National Academies for Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, only 50% of community college students successfully complete their math courses, while students at university only had a 58% success rate. It's as if some people are born for math while others aren't, right? Well, today I would like to inform you how to effectively study for math classes. Whether you're a student who excels in math or a student who struggles in it, methods I will be sharing with you today will help save you time and help you build a durable memory to get through any math test thrown your way. So allow me to help you regain your confidence in math by first detailing what to do before math class to get yourself ready, then discussing what to do during class to get the most out of it, and finally discussing how to effectively review and study after class. First, let's talk about what to do before class to get yourself ready. Spend 5 minutes reviewing the notes from the previous lecture. This is a quick recap to remind yourself of the main concepts and major formulas from the previous class, so if they come up in the upcoming class, you won't feel lost and confused. Next, to prime your brain, spend 10 to 15 minutes previewing the upcoming material. You should focus on reading to familiarize yourself with key definitions, major concepts, and formulas. Don't worry about reading for full understanding and comprehension, that's what the class is for. Your goal should just be to get a broad view of the upcoming material, so that gives you a scaffolding for the material that will be taught in class. And for such a small time investment, you actually get a large return, since according to a 2000 study by Marina Moravec et al. At the University of California, Irvine, it was found that biology students who were given a Learn Before Lecture or LBL PowerPoint presentation previewing the upcoming material several hours before class saw a 21% increase in performance on exam questions. Now that I've gone over what to do before class, let's talk about what to do during class. It can be difficult to pay attention during class, but since you have to be there anyway, let's discuss ways to get the most out of lectures. To optimize your learning experience, participate in class by asking questions on things you don't understand and answering questions posed by the professor. This will help keep you engaged and focused during class and prevent your mind from wandering and daydreaming. Also, you should be taking active notes by annotating to draw attention to main ideas, posing questions to yourself to be answered later, and drawing diagrams to make abstract ideas more concrete. Avoid the temptation of copying verbatim everything the professor writes down or says. According to a 2018 study by Shin-Nosuke Suzuki et al. At the Oyama National College of Technology in Japan, found that students taking an electromagnetism course who took active notes instead of copying down things verbatim saw a 19% rise in the class average. Now that I've gone over what to do during class, let's talk about what to do after class. The studying you do outside of class is really what makes or breaks your grade. So let's discuss effective study and review methods. Shortly after class, spend 30 to 90 minutes reorganizing your notes to gain a better conceptual understanding. To do this, rewrite and restructure your notes in your own words so that concepts and the progression of ideas make sense to you. This not only helps you review the material, but it forces you to break down complicated ideas into simpler forms that are more digestible for you. Also, briefly summarize main ideas that were covered in the course in 30 words or less. This makes you identify and reinforces major concepts from the lecture. In a 2013 study by Dove Cohen et al. At the University of Illinois, found that students who reorganized their notes in their own words saw an 11% increase on exam scores as opposed to those who didn't. Next, to cement concepts and formulas into long-term memory, create flashcards and used spaced repetition. The idea of spaced repetition is that new and difficult ideas are reviewed more frequently, while older and more easier concepts are reviewed less often. For instance, if you're easily recalling concept A, then the time between each successful recall session gets longer and longer, say 1 day to 5 days to 15 days. However, if you're having a difficult time successfully recalling another concept, say concept B, then the increase in time between those recall sessions would be shorter. Say they would increase by 1 day to 2 days to 3 days instead, and so on. This is a huge time saver and a way more efficient way of studying and reviewing material as opposed to reviewing all your flashcards every single day, since you're only focusing on the new and more difficult material and only brushing up and refreshing on the material that comes more easily to you. In a 2014 literature review by Mark Augustin from the Aachen University in Germany, found that students who studied using spaced repetition had a greater success of recall and had a higher score on the final assessment. Finally, to get practice applying the concepts, you should create and solve practice tests. This not only gives you practice applying the information, but also forces you to actively recall the information, further cementing it into long-term memory. Practice tests are also great for pointing out your weak spots. And just like the flashcards, you don't want to do a practice test every day, but instead once every 1 to 2 weeks. A 2011 study of 324 undergraduate students conducted by Marissa Hartwig et al. For the Psychonomic Society found a positive correlation between GPA and students who studied using practice tests. Today I have given you the tools for how to effectively study for math classes. First, I discussed what to do before class to get your mind ready. Then I talked about what to do during class to get the most out of it. And finally, I discussed how to effectively study and review after class. With these study methods, I hope I have given you the tools to not only pass your math classes, but to also regain your confidence in math.